They have released the dog. I'm Lil Rick the gamer, do it 100% gamer, bro. If no one else working hard, I would do it for the gamer. Yo, can't contain my flow. I need to play a game for sure. Maybe RTSS, RPG, or maybe even MMO.
Howdy, and welcome back to another video for Knighthood. Now I need you to hit those like and subscribe buttons as I post content daily, people. Alright, so we're about to go back to square one once again for this third episode and talk about some of what's going on from the last point up until this point, because a lot has happened and we actually needed like a few days in between, and we're not even all the way through the next area. So after leaving Highguard, the next area you're going into is Reverbnation. There we go, sounding that out. Woo, scholar, check me out. So what we're up against here is Golem Demon and Coat. So we're going to have to follow up on our video here because we had reached a point where we were stuck, people. Stuck, yeah. So you might have that problem too, but we're going to talk about some of what we did to get past that point. So we're going to travel in here. But the first thing that happens once you unlock this place and you get all your nice little rewards and everything, they give you a weapon. Look at this weapon. And this weapon I've been using since they give it to. So you get a level 16 golem weapon, because the first thing you're going to face is golems. Now, we're level 18, and they gave us this level 18. Well, we're level 18, so we leveled it up to 18. Even though it's not green or blue or something that is better of a rarity type that we would like, we're going to take what they give us and apply that to us until we can get something better, just so it can carry us a little further. So we're not worried about having the best rarities or any of the extra stuff until we can actually craft and make those pieces of gear, or we do happen to get lucky and pull one of those pieces of gear. So we do have an assortment of weapons here that we're not really doing anything with yet. We're not about to dismantle things yet either, because we want to fine tune and figure out exactly what all we're going to need in this, moving forward. So I did leave everything the way it was after I completed the boss fight that we're going to talk about shortly. So let's get into our hunts and the things that we have done with our hunts thus far. So we go all the way back. So going to our hunts, we can see we still got the first area completely locked. We've been working on the second area. We can't quite get the 3 stars on any of these yet, but we will eventually. We do have expert hunts unlocked. We have got nothing here we haven't tried or attempted to either. So you probably want to just, get an attempt just to see what it feels like, because these things are considerably stronger. We can go into it like they are a bit stronger. So let's even check out the levels on the enemies. Level 15, so it's not too bad. It's not going to be exactly the easiest fights going forward, but definitely get the extra materials as you need it, especially working on a few of the heroes, because I can't even think of it right now. Some of the heroes that you may not have that will be on the list, and we will talk about those two also in a moment for our hunts. So let's move on. We'll come back to that shortly, and let's talk about our Roman monsters. Now here's the nitty-gritty. Now this is, pay attention, take some notes, because this is going to be critically important throughout all of your gameplay. And when you're doing these Roman monsters, you have to access it through this menu to get all of this information. If not, it just takes you to the Roman monster and you don't know what's what. But you'll get some in each area. Granted, as you get stronger, they will still give you these weaker ones, which will probably require you to have weaker equipment, or you won't be able to get all of the rewards if you can't do it properly. Some of it might even require you to have weaker heroes as well, which is also a difficult thing a difficult thing. Well, you will have some since since most of you will be playing free to play, so it'll be some that you won't be able to like build and level up at the same time, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, trying to keep certain ones weaker just to be able to do Roman monsters kind of suck. But it is a way of farming up gold if you get a bunch of customization chests, and if you pull like capes and things of that nature, the higher the rarities you pull, the more gold that you get if you dismantle them. I like my customization chests. I like my characters looking distinguished, so I wouldn't do it myself, but that is definitely a great way of farming gold if you want to do that. But you get so many good items like extra scrolls, some of the books that you're going to need to upgrade your units past level 20, potions and that sort. You have these little crest things that you get also that you need for your gauntlets, because you have all those different gauntlets that you unlock, and all of those are going to need many of these different things. And you can get meat here that you use for your guild boss fights. You can get torches that you use for the monster cave. We just got another one that came up. You can get pretty much just about every item that you can think of outside of weapons and armor, since you will get those in the chest possibly. But you can get just about everything here doing Roman monsters. So make sure you attempt to do those as much as possible. Sometimes you might gotta take just a day of grinding and just doing Roman monsters, so you can get your materials up, get your gold up, get everything you need, so you can push further. Because this game is not meant to give you giant leaps of progression every single day. There's going to be points where you're going to have to spend days grinding to get the items you need to be able to move forward. So with that being said, let's move on. So now something that is also important to look into. So I'm gonna click here on the side story tab. Now the side story is another place where you're gonna get a bunch of really great items. Really great items that's going to help you push your progression, especially once you start getting blue weapons, blue gear, and start getting your heroes above all the way up to level 20 and pushing them above level 20. You're going to need a lot of extra items that are not as easy to obtain, that you limit it to the amount that you can get per week, that the side stories can help push you to get more of those items, especially like this cobalt here. Like this right here is game changing. You see I have none right now, but 12 of them, that's a lot of progression just right here alone. And that's just completing all of these tasks. You can see that we have all of these done here. We have all of these done here. We just need to obtain a Stro versus Demon weapon, and then get that weapon up to level 18. We get all of those items. So we can go into our quest here and just hit side story, and it show us everything that we need and everything that we have gotten completed and what we need to complete to move on. So you're going to need to take some time out, go through here, and if it's something that you can complete right away, that you can work on, go ahead, knock it out, and come back and try again later. Like I can get me a customization chest here if I just go through and create some stuff through the door foundry by transmuting, which is pretty much your crafting. I do that, then I get the extra torches for the monster cave, which can give me materials that I can also buy extra stuff from the monster cave shop. So that is a good thing to be able to work on. More mats and scrolls. You definitely want as many scrolls as you can possible to push your heroes that you're going to be using, and some of the ones that you're going to be needing later down the line to those higher tiers and levels. Like it's a lot of good stuff here that you want to come back to. Like just anytime you can get extra gold is great. So this will probably be one I need to look into maybe sooner than later. Here's that first one that we're looking at, and I believe this one right here is the one that is for the current event, the Dark Tour that's going on as of right now. So yeah, we got that stuff to check out and do. I mean, if you're in a guild and you should be, make sure you also taking care of your guild. Make sure your guild's doing good. Make sure your guild's doing good and get some stuff done. We still got that left though. You know, doing that. Then your daily grind and everything. Generally, the first ones I do when it comes to the dailies though is get these scrolls so I could just push my characters, and then I start working on, you know, completing tasks bit by bit and passively completing all of the daily stuff. And then once I've started really fine-tuning and it feels like there's not much for me left, then I go in here and check out what that I haven't completed with my dailies past what I've done already. But generally, these are the first things I go to do. Level up some equipment real quick and do a roaming monster so I can get my scrolls and like pass on. Just logging on for today, so that's why none of this is done. Alright, so now let's move on. We're gonna back it up over to Lena. Oh yeah, I like that. Bosh, defeated. We knocked them out quick. I'll take all those points. And the guild accolade, even though it gives me it in the arena. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and collect our arena tickets. We got 9 of 10. 10 is the maximum amount that you can get. We're gonna take a look at the arena shop and some of the goodies here. So this is the place where I pretty much spend most of my time buying Kobo. It's 16 left. We don't quite need it right now, but like on my main account, I'm pretty much buying Kobo all the time. I would love to get these cosmetics because they look cool, and maybe a hero chest at some point, but like I spend a lot of time grinding just to get Cobalt so I can use that to power up my characters. So that's one thing that, a little quick tidbit, you know, let you know that. But we're doing a lot of farming here, and that's pretty much all you're doing. You're not trying to push the ranks or anything right there. You're just trying to farm points for the most part and get as much as you can. Sometimes I might even hit a refresh, which only costs 4 gems. Is not a lot. I mean, even for you free to play players, if need be, I would, because we starting to, you know, accumulate more gems because we're not trying to push too hard or do too much. We're just doing enough grinding to take us to the next level. And that's pretty much that in a nutshell. One thing you do wanna work on while you're here, while you grind, is your minions. Your minions are critically important. Generally the minions that you're going to use will be these two, just because they both have a shield until you're able to get better minions later on down the line. There is going to be one of those side stories where you're going to need to have at least this minion, the harpy harpy, okay, because I can't pronounce that. Somebody pronounce that out for me in the comment section, because me and English people is terrible. All right, but you're going to need to have this equipped for a specific quest that's going to give you some goods and all of that stuff. I think I just completed that on my main, but you generally just want to use the goblin and the dead parrot because they're the ones with the shield, so they're going to take the longest to kill, or well, armor rather, because they're going to take the longest to kill. But that's usually the rule of thumb for your early game team comp when it comes to your minions. So that's big thing, not straightforward, nothing too crazy there until you're able to capture more. Now your gauntlets is going to tell you what minions you can get with them, and we'll just take a look at our gauntlet, and then we click on our information, and up here in the top right corner it tells you all of what you can catch with each gauntlet. So go here, you get that with this gauntlet, go with these gauntlets. So this is the stuff that you can capture with each of these gauntlets. So yeah, so as you move on, so forth and so on, you'll know what minions that you'll be able to get, so you'll bring the gauntlet appropriate to capture those minions. Now you have to do that when you're doing hunts. When you go to your hunts, that's where you able to capture your minions. So remember that, you know, when you're doing hunts, you capture your minions doing the hunts. So that's pretty much it. for the most part. All right, so let's move on to our next section here. Gotta back up. And we're gonna go to our monster cave. I don't think we've done any of this, guys. So you are gonna need various weapons and heroes as each day brings about different monsters for the monster cave. Monster board notice. So here you go. We go to the notice, and it tells you who shows up and what days and how much of what you have done for them. So we've completed all of the early functions, it looks like. For our account, we completed all of the normal ones, and we're on expert now. We have nothing done for expert. It's relatively simple and easy. It's not difficult. Even the expert ones aren't really that difficult early on for you. So it'll be something that you can work on or work towards, because you also gonna need to get some of the goodies that's in the monster cave shop as well. Now you can work towards Cruiser if you're farming this, and get Cruiser early, but he's not going to be needed until later down the line, and like White Peak, like late White Peak. So that's not really a big thing. The main things you're going to be getting here is this Manas and the Manas, the Urus, the Thurizas, and the Fehu. Man, that's not English. Don't know what those words are, but those are the main things that you're going to get. That's going to help progress. It's going to help progress you. You're going to need these items for your hero or your armor. All right, this is for the armor. I think some for the heroes or weapons or something like that. Okay, weapons. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna need them for your armors and weapons as you start tearing those up. So once you get the blue gear and you start getting past level 20s, 25, 30, that sort, you're gonna start needing these, and they're rare materials. They're really expensive and they're hard to come by. So outside of doing Roman monsters and getting them here, the only way you can get them is if you buy them in the shop with paid currency, your gems, you know. So if you're not and you're free to play, that's that. Yeah, would love to get the hero chest to be able to get great heroes too, you know, though that wouldn't be bad, but your main things that you're going to be focusing on are going to be these 4 puppies here to take you forward. And you got your cosmetics and all of that, and if you need gear for crafting or just something for you to move forward on, I think I bought this one personally. It's the one that I'm wearing now, if I check. Yep, it's the piece of gear that I'm wearing now, just to make sure I had green gear when I started off early on, so I don't have any white gear on me. So we can have a little bit of the best to start off with. And that's how we did that for the most part. We're going to move on once again. And I guess we'll back it all the way up. Now let's take a look at the heroes that we're using, because we were going up against Golem once we got to that section, but our heroes that we was using at the time was Gwen and Wormwood. Now Gwen, who was taking us through, well, Gwen and Wormwood, who pretty much helped us get through the last parts of what the High Guard. So because they had militia here, it was like the last little enemies that you had to face. So we had Gwen pretty much carry us there. She destroys militia. Gwen is really good, something that you should invest in, because you're gonna need her if you don't get anything better once we get to Ram of Fire later on down the line. And that's gonna be a difficult one to get to. Actually, on my main, while I'm working in White Peaks, because I'm towards the end and White Peaks, I'm building my Gwen on there just to be prepared to get in here, because I don't have like a epic or legendary militia, so it'd be nice to have her built up and ready for when we do this area, because we don't have a good militia weapon either. But that's on the main account. But on this account, we've been prepping ourselves, so we're pretty much using her going through here, and I'm going to explain like what we're going to be using to take on these enemies as well. But basically, they give us a golem weapon. We're going to need a demon weapon to take on the demon enemies because we don't have, well, we do have a demon hero and we're going to use her, but we were lucky to pull her. Most of you guys won't be able to have her, so having a demon weapon is going to be important here. And then having a coat weapon, but we also have a coat that they give you, as well as one that you can farm for, who I recommend using because I use him a lot on my main for everything dealing with coat. And even just not even just that, I use him in my arena as well, and that's Aaron. And we're going to back it up and go back to our heroes. So we'll go to Squap and look at our list. So for our demon, Rokara is who we're talking about here, but demon weapon is what you guys are going to be shooting for because you probably not going to have her free to play unless you was just as lucky as I was to pull us. We also got to collect Aaron out of our shrine because we've been leveling him up in our shrine just because we're going to be using him here, and he's going to be the coat character that you're going to use, and you're able to farm him from the hunts. So as soon as he opens up, make sure you're clearing out and farming his pieces enough until you can get him unlocked. At the very least, make sure you farming that much so you can use him because he is the best coat hero that you're going to have until you can get something else later on down the line that is better. But the reason is because he has 2 debuffs. He has poison on his arrow, which he ignores armor. He attacks the thing in front of him, and then the thing right behind that also get attacked as well. They both get poison. And then his rage gives a AoE acid, which destroys armor. So he's going to be really good there. And you're going to be dealing with a lot of backline threats with Coat as well, and he's going to be good at shutting them down, having 2 skills that can deal with those backline enemies. On my main account, I was building Sola because I didn't know if Aaron was good or not, and I was really liking Sola, but Sola requires so much investment. Like, if she's not up to your level, which means you got to put all of your investment into her, which I don't recommend, then she's not going to perform as well because she can one-shot a backline enemy, but she has to be leveled really high to do so. Aaron just has these debuffs, which adds on extra damage, so he doesn't need to be leveled up as high, so you get more value out of him because of it. And Sola is like, in my opinion, because of that. Which I was liking her. But unfortunately, she's not doing much. So we've been kind of leveling up Aaron, leveling up Rokara. For the most part, we've been working on our Wormwood and our Gwen because we completed the boss that we had to take on at level 14 and level 13, and then we was leveling up Anara because Anara is just good. It's just good, and you'll be using Anara for a lot of content as well. So we've been leveling up Anara quite a bit. But this was the team comp for the match you have to do against this big old mushroom, and it was really hard. Like, all my gear, I had to level up all my gear to level 18, which we see we're still sitting at now. Everything had to be leveled up to 18, and everything had to be, well, yeah. That's pretty much it. And then our heroes are the levels that they are now. Just to get through that fight, we also had to use some potions, elixirs, exactly. We had to use a strength elixir up against that boss fight because we needed the extra damage to ensure our victory, or we wasn't going to be able to pass without leveling up our heroes or ourselves even further through other means, which would probably took another day or so because it took a couple days just to get past it, just because we just couldn't get I couldn't get the strategy down packed good enough and get the right RNG to be able to take them down. So using a strength potion isn't bad because you got to use them somewhere, and the harder boss fights that you face would probably be the place. But we already in taking up enough of your time. I hope you guys have enjoyed if you stuck around, because this last portion I just explained is actually really important. So if you did see this, make sure you say something down in the comment section below. Let me know, like, yeah, you said use a strength potion against the fungus boss, got it, or whatever like that. And if you do like the video, make sure you smash that like button. Link to our Discord where we talk about the games we play will be in the description box below, as well as the pinned comment below. Make sure if you're new here to subscribe and turn those post notifications on so you can be the first to see my content when it goes live, people. And this is your host, Gamer Dude 2088, and I will see you next time. And I'm out. Deuces.